I tweeted.
What's up? What's up? It's me. It's PLD.
And I'm Richard-Erik Jarvi.
And welcome to Class Action.
The classiest movie show on the interwebs.
On the interwebs, the classiest movie show this is. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing today?
Doing good. You know, we're not late. We're not early. You know, PLD arrives exactly when he means to.
Nice Paul. Nice Paul.
A PLD is never late.
You're right, exactly. I like that Matty pulled that because we just found out earlier today that Matty hates Lord of the Rings, and we don't understand what's going on there. But
am
Matty,
I on trial? Am I the one on trial now?
You might be. Then we might have to change the entire thing to Matty Gunner on trial.
Okay. What do you have to say for yourself?
What do I have to say for myself? Okay. I don't
tell the people what you did.
I watched the theatrical cuts of the Lord of the Rings trilogy to prepare for this because I don't have 12 hours plus to watch 3 fucking movies. Like that's too long. That's way too long. And plus, like, half of it looks like, if we're talking the extended, half of it looks like it's just been pieced together, like copy and paste. Like one, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
You're wrong.
You're
dead wrong.
The way it's shot, the way it's edited.
Stand there in your wrongness.
You're wrong.
Just stand there in your wrongness.
You're wrong.
It looks that way.
You to cox at me right now, Jarvi?
Because, my God, it was filmed back to back all in once. It was filmed as one movie, one long 12-hour movie. And you sit there and you will love it.
No, I just can't. I can't do the extended. I tried. It's not like I haven't tried. Like at least I'm not.
Do or do not. There is no try.
Yes, sir.
I understand that. However, like I'm not like one of these shitty fucking internet dweebs that's like, oh, I hate fucking Lord of the Rings, when I've never even fucking watched it. At least I've tried. I sat there with my ex-girlfriend and tried to watch all of the Lord of the Rings movies.
Obviously, she's your ex-girlfriend because you said you hated Lord of the Rings. Obviously, that broke up your whole.
I don't hate Lord of the Rings. Like Orlando Bloom as Legolas is a sick character. I love the dynamic between him and Gimli. Like that's cool. Aragorn, pretty sweet. Boromir is an absolute douche. Like,
wow!
What the fuck is happening today?
Boromir is one of the greatest heroes that men ever had.
Give us a moment, for pity's sake, man.
He nearly ruined the whole fucking quest in the first movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but he's a true like man's man.
He redeemed himself right away, taking 3 arrows to the chest and still fighting.
Do you know what?
He's like four arrows.
Star Wars. If I want to watch redemption,
fourth or fifth, I think actually.
If I want to get redemption, I'll go watch Star Wars because they seem to redeem every fucking character.
Well, that's true. That's not wrong. All right, guys. The trial is right now. We're going to put that on hold. The trial of Matty Gunner. I can't guarantee it won't start up again when he starts up with some of these takes he's going to give us. But for right now, I will leave it. I will let it go for now. We're going to go into our actual class action trial.
We should say what the topic is also.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We're going to go into our actual class action trial this week's actual trial and what spawned this whole discussion. That's right. It is Yoda, Master Yoda versus Gandalf the Gray or the White, depending on where you are.
Just the green versus the gray.
The green versus the gray. And no, Jarvi, the green is not a movie, another movie.
Matty just blurted it out, like said it in our private chat this week that the green versus the gray. So we usually like shoot back and forth our topic idea. So I was like, interesting. We should do the gray, but what the fuck is the green? So I keep IMDbing, Googling it.
The skin
I
color
keep-
of
I
the other
keep-
character we're talking
I keep
about.
finding the Green Mile, the Green Hornet. What the fuck is this? So
It's
finally,
the
it
sequel.
clicked.
Liam Neeson. It's the sequel to Liam Neeson's The Gray. The green is this. You got a little sick during the second one, so it becomes the green at that point.
I mean, he is Irish.
That's very true. That's very true.
It's an improvisational comedy.
Yes, Liam Neeson. Who I hope you're going to see tonight, by the way, or at least here.
We have.
I mean, yeah, something has to happen.
I do. I fucking hope so. I'll be very mad if it doesn't. I mean, I won't slam the thing. I'm not going to be one of those internet people who slams. I hate when people slam a show for not giving them what they think has to happen.
Shout out to
Is it-
certain Star Wars YouTube guy.
Yeah, it's a certain one. I'm not going to talk about him here, but
Sorry,
Wait,
don't
so
say
guys-
the way you said that, I was like,
go watch Star Wars Explained instead. We
yes,
like the
that was
names.
explained. That is that.
Should we do an Obi-Wan review next week instead of class action?
I'm not going to be here next week. That's the thing, remember. I am on the road.
We will wait. We'll wait till you return from your.
No. We'll just do it. No, we
We're
can't.
doing-
Son of a
we're doing
bitch.
We can't do that one without
You know what? I will let that happen. I'll actually have my comments at some point. Maybe I'll bring up my own channel, or I'll do something randomly later this week and do it.
No.
myself.
Oh, that was just kidding.
Sure.
No, don't leave us.
Don't leave me alone. And in my soul,
Wow.
yes, Monty,
Well,
that is
that
actually
came
true.
out of nowhere.
In my
Wow.
soul. In my soul, that's very true. That's very true. Mentally, though, I'm actually younger by a lot, so I'm definitely a juvenile. But as it is, let's get into the topic at hand. Of course, the first game we ever play on the show does not involve the trial. It's kind of a warm up to the trial. It's Richard-Erik Jarvi's favorite game we ever play.
It's the opening statement, if you will.
Yeah, it is kind of an opening statement, even though it is. What would Ed Harris play? Because the greatest character actor of all time, the man who makes every movie better, the man who is just a legend in his own right. We're gonna put him into the Lord of the Rings, and we're gonna put him into Star Wars. And what would we see Ed Harris play in these films? We'll start with Lord of the Rings, and then move on to Star Wars.
Oh, okay. You're Star Wars Rings. Okay.
So, we can do that. So, Jarvi, what would you put this man in Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, so this picture gives like a lot of Gandalf or Saruman vibes, but I actually tried to approach this like who could be most easily replaced, because if we're going like after the main characters, even if you go as far as like Theoden or someone, there's no way. I just can't even think of replacing them because they're too fucking great. But I did come up with one that I think he could have done better.
Okay.
I would have put Ed Harris as Isildur. I think the actor, he did fine.
Okay.
He didn't really give us like a whole lot to deal with. And I know he doesn't have so much to do, but that character has a lot of depth, a lot of like vices to him, the way he gets consumed by the power. I think Ed Harris would have brought way more depth to that character.
That's an interesting take. Can I take a little definitely a smaller role, and I mean, watching the way of dialogue, obviously.
And
but
he's stubborn as well. Like you
He's
could
stubborn.
definitely play that.
I like that. Human King, I can deal with that. Okay, what about you there, Matty? You have a one for Lord?
I mean, I had him down as a Isildur as well, to have him as the
Really?
the king who started. I did have a backup, but I actually
Please tell me it's an elf.
what? Yes, it is an elf.
Oh yes.
I'm trying to remember his name.
Elrond.
Elrond.
But Elrond.
Elrond. Really? Hugo Weaving.
Interesting.
Hmm.
That's an interesting take.
I was just scrambling. I was like, who did Hugo Weaving play?
Are you saying you
Oh.
didn't do your homework? Is that what you're saying?
I am saying I did my homework enough, but if I can't have a Isildur, I will have Ed Harris as Elrond, because he's kind of grouchy.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
He always has the high ground. He's always like tall, looking over
always has the
everyone.
high ground. He doesn't
Yeah.
want his daughter to go off with Viggo Mortensen, which I understand. I wouldn't want my daughter going off with Viggo Mortensen either. But yeah, he could fill in that concerned father figure kind of role with
Yeah.
her, and like be
And
the elder of this grand council of elves. I could see him in that role.
yeah, and he was running Black Ops way before either all of them were like in diapers or something.
That's true. Monty saying he would cast him as a very chill woodworker, wants to manja with the hobbits. Hey, maybe that's the case. I think
Manja?
definitely a different
What's
thing.
what's
Eat.
Oh,
They eat a lot. I am actually going to tell you, Richard, that I'm going to replace somebody big, even though it is a great role. It is a wonderful role. Not Bilbo. It's a wonderfly acted role, so it's not like I'm replacing him because the guy didn't do good. I just want to see Ed in the role. I'm replacing Bernard Hill as Theoden King with Ed Harris.
Yeah,
because I want to see Ed Harris get all those fucking awesome speeches. Like David Campbell put on my Twitter thread last night. I was talking about what we were going to do. PJ, because PJ and I are doing the Two Towers this week for Two Mediocre White Dudes on Film. We got that coming out, and that's a long episode, guys. I'm going to tell you, you got to
can't wait.
You got to wait. Strap in for our 2-hour, 30-minute episode on the Two Towers. So
okay, how much of it do you actually spend talking about the movie?
Well, the first 45 minutes is complete banter, complete nothing else.
Right.
So I usually just listen to the intro. When you get into the movie, this is where I turn the podcast off.
Fair. That's a fair
I mean, it's true.
No, I don't.
But David Campbell got in my thread last night and joked around. He said that he didn't like Theoden because Theoden was all talk, no hype. Like, no, he didn't fight. He barely fights. His role is to get stabbed and to be a hype man and cut some like WWE like promos. I'm like, yeah, but what fucking promos they are. I mean, he's got those. He got the great Red Dawn one. He's got the little lines. He's like, he's death. Everything. I just want to see her take those.
He's more of like a leader type, not really a fighter. Like they all can't be like super amazing fighters. Someone just has to be the kingly person as well.
And he does a good job. And then again, also, I will say one more thing, and then you can speak about Matty. Can you not see Ed Harris standing on top of Helm's Deep?
Yeah.
You're down there. We're up here. You walk in the wrong goddamn keep. All right.
I want to change my pick to a very smaller pick because you guys are going quite big. Okay. I want Ed Harris to have a minor cameo as the guy at the front gates when they're trying to get to the prancing pony. The guy that opens up the thing and just stares in there, like the old grouchy dude that just opens up the thing, and he gets stomped, like the door gets stomped on him by the ring wraith. That guy. I would have Ed Harris play the gatekeeper guy.
I did consider him playing Sauron, just like the eye. It's instead of the eye of Sauron, it's just the Ed Harris face.
What's that town called? It's not Riverdale, is it? Or is it Riverdale?
Just that. Instead of the eye of Sauron, it's that. But it is.
Wait, which town are you talking about? It was the town of Bree. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I was like, I know it's not Rivendell. I don't know. It's definitely not Riverdale because I love that show.
It's a little different.
Archie, what the fuck are you doing here?
That's a totally
you walked into the wrong goddamn universe.
All right. Well, we got Ed in Lord of the Rings. Let's put him into Star Wars. Go ahead. Let's see what you want to do with this one, Jarvi.
Okay. So at first, I really this one I didn't really go that far with when it comes to type. So I wanted to find someone who's as stern, as badass. First one I came up with was Mace Windu, and I know there's like whitewashing there, but like character-wise, I feel like he could have done a good job. But then I really thought about it, and I want to see him as Kanan Jarrus. I want to see him as. Yeah, I feel like there's. Richard has watched Rebels.
That is part of it. You know who Kanan Jarrus is?
That is a little bit of it.
He's a bit of like more like a rogue Jedi, and I feel like Ed Harris has all of the tools to play an awesome Kanan.
Oh, I like that idea. It's a very intriguing idea. All right. What about you there, Matty?
I'm going with one of the most crucial members of the Empire, General Maximilian Veers.
That is never a bad
I'm replacing Julian Glover with Ed Harris as General Veers.
That's not a bad idea at all.
He would make a great Imperial.
Yes, really would. Oh, that's a good choice. Not a lot to do, but like when he's there, he is spot on. And you know he's got that. He's got the whole thing. He's just singing the Yada. You're down there, rebels. We're up here.
Yeah, just him walking up to Vader, go, General, Lord Vader. The fleet has moved out of Lightspeed. Just like I could see him doing it. Yeah. My first
the outfit.
Yeah,
He could
Oh,
totally rock that outfit.
you totally rock the
Uniform.
Imperial
My
uniform.
initial pick was Tarkin, but then I
Yeah.
was like, that didn't
Too legendary.
I get it.
Yeah, too much.
Nothing's too legendary for Ed Harris, but I know what you, I get it. I know what you mean. You know what I'm saying? Interesting. I just had something fluid in my mind. I want to mention. Damn it, it was right there. Anyway, okay. Well, moving on then for myself. Then I had a couple of ideas I wanted to throw out there, but I first toyed out with maybe doing Solo and doing put him as Dryden Voss. As a that could be very chill. I'd be very
do that
cool.
to Paul Bettany.
I would, yeah. Fucking, you know, it's Ed fucking Harris. I don't care about. I mean, I love Paul
Bettany. Yeah. Okay, you got me there.
Anyway, you know what I mean. But like, I also like the. Do you like the idea of him being a Jedi to a degree? Although that's definitely more against type, which is why I don't think I would do that. That's another good choice, actually, Jay. Conan Antonio Matty. It's another good choice there. But I am actually also, unfortunately, going to Adam Matty from episode 4.
Oh, okay. I don't know the first two names, so.
But I think what I'm going to do is a little bit, unfortunately, I apologize, a little bit of whitewashing again to a degree. But how can you not have him as Jango Fett?
Oh, shit.
Ed Harris, the Mandalorian armor.
Oh, wait, there's a picture of that. I've seen that picture.
What picture? I don't know what you're talking about. It's just him as a random Mandalorian. That's not him as a. I don't.
That's true.
That's true.
I just thought, what about Ed Harris?
Jedi picture you thought of. That's what you're thinking. It was the Jedi picture you're thinking of.
No. There was a.
I know what you're
with
thinking of.
Mando armor as well.
What about Ed Harris's Ki-Adi Mundi?
Well, that would be kind of cool too. Actually,
That'd be a big forehead to rock for him.
I mean, I was actually very tempting also just to put him as Obi-Wan because, quite frankly, who has a better high ground than
or
Ed Harris?
Palpatine?
But Ed Harris rocking Anakin. I mean,
and he
has the high
that
ground.
Gap.
Right.
And when he's like, you underestimate. When he goes like, you underestimate my power, he's like, what the hell's the matter with you, man?
Vader just drags him through the fire. She's like, what the hell's the matter with you, man?
Put your lightsaber down to the deck. Love it.
Oh, we could just do a show like replacing Ed Harris with like all the cast members
I feel like
every movie ever.
I feel like we should do that.
That should be just the all Ed Harris class action episode. We're just putting Ed Harris in all the movies. Every movie we've ever covered. We're just putting Ed Harris in different roles, like the alternate roles.
If you're watching this back or you're watching this live, put in the comments if you would want to see us do an episode entirely on what would Ed Harris play, and you just give us random movies and we just fire off who Ed Harris would play in that movie.
Like that.
As General Hummel. There always has to be a tad bit of General Hummel in there.
It always got to be, you know what I mean?
He played General Hummel in, I don't know, Beauty and the Beast. Replace Gaston.
He's up in his castle. But he's got to play, what's the girl's name?
Belle?
No. The other guy, the villain.
Gaston.
Jesus,
Gaston.
Yeah. Gaston. I want to see him sing.
Sing. He could pull it off.
Sing.
Hey, Harris ever done a musical?
He has not, but he did sing the closing credit song of Appaloosa.
There you go.
He wrote and sang in the closing credit song.
Of course, you know that.
It's a very old school country type song, and it's not a very challenging song. It's very low singing the song and stuff, but you know, you know what?
Gaston's not a villain.
Gaston's not a villain.
I mean, they're doing a Disney Plus series on Gaston.
They are actually.
They were vilifying everyone.
Exactly.
They should do a series on General Hummel as a kid.
Really should. General Hummel back in his Black Op days or something. What led to General Hummel?
And you have Jake Gyllenhaal play a younger.
Oh yes, dude! Oh my god! Yeah.
You have Ed Harris talking it's kind of like
playing,
Ed Harris.
And who's playing young David Morris? We need that one as well.
Oh god! Oh, young David Morris. Ooh.
Someone who's great with Jake Gyllenhaal.
I love how this is essentially become it.
I was a bit too old then.
But I can still make it work.
Right. Chris Hemsworth.
What's the Harding? What's the guy from Top Gun?
Miles Teller.
No. The Iceman guy.
Oh yeah. I know the name.
What's his name? I'm really mad.
I love how this has become an episode of two mediocre white dudes. That's
Gun pal.
three.
Gun pal. That's
Gun
a gun
pal.
pal. There you go.
Gun pal.
PJ, just want to say, PJ, we actually didn't make that point because I would not allow that point that Halloween Kills is bad on this episode, and you know that. You just wanted to bring that up. It is very good. We are actually going to do a horror episode at some point on this show, probably closer to Halloween. I'm not sure which one yet, but
I mean, we got the Black Phone coming up, so
I'm going to see that this weekend. I do want to see that this weekend. I'm very.
It's coming up this weekend
for me. I don't know about you guys.
It is. Yeah.
I'm going out of town tomorrow. I might not even get to watch Obi-Wan until Sunday. So when you guys do watch it, keep your spoilers because I'm going to be way out of town, out of service, everywhere, out of.
I know that PJ would throw some good movies at us that we could put Ed Harris into, but that'll be for that next episode. When PJ, we're going to do an episode. What would Ed Harris play? A whole episode. You're just going to throw movies at us. We're going to put Ed Harris in the roles, in new roles. But right now, you know what? We are about 20 minutes in. Let's get into our actual meat. Let's actually get into the meat of the show, the meat of the potatoes, the actual trial we came here to discuss. Yoda versus Gandalf. Now, this actually, I'm going to tell you right now. I say this a bunch of times. I've done this before. I know you are. See, he's awesome. I know you are. I always, usually I go through categories 1 through 5 or 1 through 6 or however many we have 5 this times. Mm-hmm. And I always have at least one category. I'm like, this is definitively one way, no problem. All 5 categories this time, I am like, I don't have answers to right now. I'm letting the discussion take over before I actually make my call. So this is I'm very interested to see where this is going to end up falling. So without further ado, I think we'll just go category by category. We'll start with you guys, and I'll follow up. The first category we have in Gandalf versus Yoda versus Gandalf.
So hold on. You're the jury, and me and Matty are the defense and the prosecutor right now. We're trying to pretty much get you on board with what we're saying. Pretty much. I'm trying to figure this out. You could do this maybe either way. So, because I love, these are probably my 2 favorite franchises of all time, and these are 2 of my favorite characters in for sure. Franchise. Same here.
So I don't know. This is we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. The interesting wrinkle I will put on this is I am watching Lord of the Rings recently for 2 mediocre white dudes on film. So I do have a more recency bias right now on watching more Gandalf than Yoda. So I wonder
if that jury, you need to get rid of that.
I'm going to try to get rid of that. I know.
As someone who has been in front of a jury before, you need to get rid of that.
That's fair. But I also love Star Wars is obviously number 1 for me. So it kind of maybe evens it out that way. Jay, you're going to be a character whiz. I like that. You're playing Lotso right now. Oh my God. I almost want to jump off and re-download that game. I love that game. I don't say I wasted so much time, but I did waste so much time on that fucking game. When I would spend hours playing Lord of the Rings online, it took over my life for a while. But that's neither here nor there. Let's get into it. First category, better quotes. Who has the better quotes? Is it Yoda or is it Gandalf? Jarvi,
Who should start?
We'll start with you, Jarvi.
All right. So before, PLD said he had so much trouble deciding on the categories. For me, it was very clear cut, except for one category. Weird, I know, but because they're, as you said, 2 of my favorite franchises as well. But yeah, better quotes. I think Yoda has some better one-liners, whereas Gandalf has better, longer speeches. The quotes and lines, that either of them have, they're both legendary and iconic. And I was thinking this category was going to be harder, but I'm leaning very heavily for Gandalf. And I think the reason is the delivery and the weight behind what he's saying. Sure, Yoda is kind of a sillier character at times. His look and his voice all affects that. But Yoda does have some truly great, simple quotes that they're life-changing. Do or do not, there is no try. They're so universal. They're so hard-hitting. But when Gandalf yells out, you shall not pass. That's, people still freaking quote that every time. And when he gives one of his epic pep talks, you can't either tear up or just get goosebumps. And I think Gandalf has, for me, the number one greatest movie speech of all time. By far, greater than anything ever. And that happens in The Return of the King when he's talking to Pippin. It's like, and no, the journey does not end here. Death is just another path, one that we all must take. I mean, that speech on itself would make me pick Gandalf for this category. And I think, and I also think there's Peter Jackson has a lot to do with why I'm picking Gandalf, because he leans really heavily into Gandalf's speeches. There's a lot of music. There's like, it's edited like he's the main character right now.
Right.
Everything he says is gold, and like there's no denying it. So I think Peter Jackson, I mean, it's kind of a cheat because I'm talking about directing as well, but his speeches are like what make the movies like beat. The heart beat.
Okay, fair play. I will say before Matty, I'm gonna let you go next. I will say the first thing you said, Jarvi, was exactly how I began this exact topic. Was like that Yoda had a lot of the quippier one-liners thing, but Gandalf's speeches are very melodious and beautiful. So I'm interested to see where that ends up for me, because you end up pushing you to Gandalf to a degree. Matty, I'm curious about you now, where you as a big Yoda fan, obviously.
Yeah, And again, I Gandalf's probably my favorite part of the Lord of the Rings movies. That's partly because I'm such a huge fan of Sir Ian McKellen. Like, he's one of the greatest actors of all time to me. But I have to agree and disagree with the Yoda hasn't got as good speeches, because you have the one in Empire. Was it Empire? No, Return of the Jedi, where he says, strong I am with the Force, but not that strong. Twilight is upon me and soon night must fall. It's like he has the quippy lines like, do or do not, there is no try, and wonderful the mind of a child is. Like, he has those little one-liners, but then he just switches and goes essentially full Shakespeare even with that speech alone. And he's saying how, like, even the most powerful of us, who are most powerful with the Force, our time comes at some point. Like, and that's something that, and I'm not going to go too far into the lessons he teaches, because that's another category that we have, but that is a powerful thing to learn, that no matter what, like, our time's going to come, no matter how strong you are, how powerful you are. Like, eventually our time comes, and we have to learn to accept it and let it go.
I would even like argue against myself. I think Yoda has one great speech in Revenge of the Sith when he's talking to Anakin, and when he gives a line like death, fear.
Learn to let go of all that you fear.
Exactly.
Learn to let go of all you fear to lose.
That is like, wow. And you can tell, like, Anakin has no way of coping with what he's saying, but he knows it's like the right thing to do.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong there. I do love that. Now it comes down to, for me, both things. I see both sides of the story. PJ saying Gandalf wins this. I'm sorry, it's just facts. Wizard over the little 900-year-old green guy. Okay, but in a way, I have to argue against it, because I tried pulling all the Gandalf quotes and tried pulling all the Yoda quotes that I had. And while Gandalf actually has, it depends on, like, is it better quality of quote, or is it how many quotes you have? And Yoda has more quotes by far. There's more. Yoda's definitely more quotable. Now Gandalf's got some of the best speeches. Like that speech that Jarvi mentioned is one of her favorite movie moments of all time. Is when him and Pippin have that moment, and they sit there and they start talking about death is just another path.
Is that when Pippin starts singing?
No, it's no.
It's right when they're in.
They're in Gondor.
The name Gondor.
Oh,
breaking through the gate, and Pippin's like, "This is the end."
And like he just has this calm moment in the middle of the battle. It's a great moment. I love that.
Beyond.
I mean, and yes, it is true that Gandalf does have better grammar. That's actually a good point.
Yep. Yeah.
And PJ, you son of a bitch.
I think there's another great speech that Gandalf gives in the Fellowship of the Ring, is when Frodo is talking to Gandalf when they're trying to get into the mines of Moria, I think. and Frodo goes to talk to Gandalf like I wish the ring had never come to me. And so do all things. Like that like, but it's not for them to decide.
All we have to do is decide what to do with the time that's given us.
Yes. Like time is our most valuable resource ever, and he gives this epic speech about it.
At the same time, we had a lot of great Yoda moments as well. The greatest teacher failure is. In dark place we find ourselves, a little more knowledge lights our way.
Even the laugh.
That's right. The dark side clouds everything. Impossible to see the future is. There's a lot of like
judge me by my size, do you?
Right. Exactly. So I do think I went into this category. I got back and forth. I went into this category and going to Yoda. But I think I'm going to still give it to Gandalf just for like how epic those speeches are. I love Yoda stuff. This is a very hard choice for you to make, but I think at the end of the day, I'm actually agreeing with you, PJ. See, Jesus Christ, patience, PJ, patience. I'm talking Yoda now, actually. See, I'm going back to Yoda all of a sudden. But I'm going to give it to Gandalf as well. I think tough call.
It is. It really is. I think like Yoda has. I have to point out one more. Like Yoda also has a really like ballsy line as well when he's taking on Palpatine. He's like, if so powerful you are, why leave? Like, he's like, he wants to fight. Like, yes,
luminous beings we are, not this crude matter. Wars not make one great. It's a lot of stuff. It's
sure you still want to go with you because you're quoting Yoda a lot right now, and you're not quoting Gandalf as much.
I know it's because Gandalf said that as quippy. That's the problem. Like, so which is but are they better quotes?
The category is better quotes.
True courage.
That's what I'm saying. What's a better
not
quote?
When to take a life,
quips,
but when to spare one.
Quotes. Courage will now be your best defense against a storm that is hand. That and such hope as I bring. True courage is not about knowing. It's about knowing not when to take a life, but when to spare one.
But when to spare one.
Many that live deserve death, and some that die deserve life. Can you give it to them?
That sounded like Obi-Wan right there.
It does sound
like Obi-Wan.
A little bit like Obi-Wan.
So it is hard to say. Fool of a took. That's what I think it would do. All right.
The stubbornness of hobbits.
The stubbornness of hobbits. I'm gonna have to stick with Gandalf as much as I almost hate doing it. I almost hate giving, but I hate giving victory to either side. So that's the problem.
No, but you're being honest with yourself. Even if like off the cuff you wanted to go with Yoda, you're thinking about the categories.
Yeah,
making the right choice, the smart choice.
Oh yeah, trivia question. PJ Campbell, patience is a virtue. Not right now. It is. Name that movie. I got it. I'll give you guys a second.
It's probably the Rocketeer again.
No.
That's always
a good guess. That's always a good guess.
It's always a Rocketeer if you don't know it.
It is PJ for 5 points. It is The Mummy. Tell me I'm wrong. You can say, all right,
really? What the fuck, PLD? Why are you not a competitor?
Because I write the questions. That's why. All right.
You can't do teach.
That could be. Speaking of that, category number 2. Category 2. Yes. Category 2.
You're on the wrong side of the river.
Better mentor. Which of these characters is a better mentor? This is another interesting category for me. I have a bunch of different things to talk about. Let's see. Jarvi, what do you say about better mentor?
This was a little bit tougher, but still, there was a clear-cut winner for me. I mean, if we're going off purely from the movies that we have seen, I'd say Yoda is more hands-on with the training part. Like Gandalf is more of like your guardian type of character. I don't think he actually trained or mentored anyone as much as Yoda did with Luke and all the other Jedi that he trained. I mean, of course, it was his job to train the young Jedi, but he really goes deep into training in the ways of the Force. And in that sense, I think I have to give this one to Yoda. Yoda seems more like he's more like a finished product when we meet him also. Like Gandalf is sort of still developing and discovering himself. Like first off, he's like Gandalf the Grey. He comes, he like puts the Fellowship together, then he fucks off somewhere else, then he comes back. So he's not like always there for them. Same thing could be said for Yoda, though. He's not, with the main characters going on these missions, but I think when we meet Yoda, he's already this wise character, and Gandalf is still forming as a wizard. So I think he does more training. Yoda does more training and teaching. So this one goes to Yoda.
You're going with Yoda. Okay, that's fair. Sure, Yoda. Boom.
Also, I want to be one of Yoda's Padawans.
Yeah, fair enough. You just want to be the cat.
I want to be fucking Ikrit. Or was it Ikrit?
It is Ikrit. Matty, how about you, sir?
I'd feel the same. I mean, Gandalf just says, "Go to this place. I'm gonna meet you there. Go to this place. I'll meet you there." Like, and he doesn't need, like, okay, granted, he gets caught up because he has to fight with Saruman, but it's like he's just like, "Go to this place. I'll meet you there. Go to this place. I'll meet you there."
No, right. I gotta break dance with Saruman. Hold on.
We're gonna go to this place. I'm gonna come with you. Oh no, wait! I'm gonna get distracted and go completely somewhere else. Yoda has one quote, and this is one quote I saved from the previous argument, that he says, "Always pass on what you have learned." Name a more mentorish line than that. Always pass on what you have learned. Pass it down to the next generation. That's everything a Jedi should be. Like, passing it on to the ones that come after you.
That's a great point.
And that's the fact, like, he doesn't, yes, he had Count Dooku as his apprentice, but he taught everyone. Like, he shared his knowledge with everyone. It seemed like Gandalf was mostly focused on a few people, like Aragorn and Frodo. Like, where was his sit-down time with Legolas or with Gimli or with any of the other guys? He seemed like very focused on the key people that really mattered, and not like the group as a whole. Yoda was just like, let me teach everyone what I have to offer. And that's just more of a sign of a mentor to me.
Bullshit.
Okay.
I'm gonna call bullshit on all this. I can't take it anymore. First of all, Gandalf is actually years older than Yoda. Actually, he's like thousands of years old. First of all,
okay.
Just so you know, he actually leads the Fellowship and like has sit downs with Aragorn, has sit downs with Theoden, has sit downs with Frodo, has sit downs with Bilbo, has sit downs with
he mentored them though.
He does. So
he guides and he advises.
He mentors the Took. He mentors Pippin. That's mentoring. A mentor is someone who guides a person in any which way. It doesn't have to be for a long term. Nobody's saying about long term. And Gandalf didn't retreat to a fucking swamp when Sauron takes over. Yoda goes and sits his ass in a swamp for a couple movies and does nothing, while Gandalf actually searches down the ring, fights off the battle.
Gandalf wasn't being hunted.
He wasn't?
Gandalf got
Saruman did a pretty good job trying to keep him down.
And ended up sitting in a freaking tower calling for butterflies to help him.
And Gandalf wasn't being hunted. No, but the Baggins were being hunted. And what did Gandalf do? Put his fucking head right next to him, so that he put him in his way to protect him, because he's a great mentor.
He's a guardian.
You said it yourself. He's a great protector.
He's a great protector, but is he a mentor?
Because he teaches them how to. Frodo couldn't have done everything he did without Gandalf's guidance.
Oh, he had Samwise the Brave. He had Sam there.
And who put Samwise in motion with him?
No, he came with him. He's like, he went with him.
Excuse me.
Geez.
Boom!
He didn't even know he was with him. Yeah. He didn't know he was with him. He found out when the fucker
he set that up. He set that up in Fellowship. But he brought him on the mission. What did Gandalf tell me? And not to leave you, Frodo Baggins, that I'm not going to.
Yeah, okay.
Why?
He did say that. I'll give you this one thing, but it's not like.
Let's say The Hobbit. Let's talk the Hobbit movies. Bilbo leads all the dwarves to Bilbo's house and mentors
the Hobbit movies. You lost me. I haven't watched it. And for the record, I'm not saying Gandalf wasn't a great mentor. I'm just saying Yoda's better.
I agree there. Exactly. I think.
And plus, Yoda had some failures as Padawans. Gandalf hasn't had any failures yet.
Saruman?
Count Dooku was Yoda's Padawan. What happened to him?
Saruman? Wasn't Saruman like his...
No, Saruman was Gandalf's mentor.
Yeah, he was.
And Gandalf threw it off and said, fuck you, I'm not doing that.
He got so fired up. Look at
the greatest teacher's failure is Yoda learned from his mistakes.
Did he really? He kind of did. But yeah, it took him 900 years, and he had to fuck up a lot.
And how long did it take Gandalf to get it right?
Gandalf got it right the whole time. I haven't seen Gandalf get it wrong.
Gandalf got beat.
The only time
Gandalf got beat by Saruman and the Balrog.
The only time Gandalf got it wrong.
Kind of got defeated by Balrog. They both died. So
again, the only time Gandalf got it wrong was when he was blinded by his old mentor himself. So once he shook that off, he was good. But Yoda
blinded by the dark side.
But Yoda's mentoring. We're talking about Yoda's mentoring, and he fucked up the mentoring. When did Gandalf fuck up any mentoring? Yoda mentored Count Dooku. Count Dooku went evil.
See, I don't think it, because if we look at why Count Dooku turned to the Separatists, he kind of had a point. And look who was in charge of the Republic at the time. So really, did he fail?
You're sounding like a separatist.
You're sounding like
Count Dooku turned away from the Republic, which was ruled by the Emperor. So really, and this was
became the Emperor's bitch. So it doesn't really matter.
But he left the Jedi before he became Palpatine's apprentice.
So did he really leave the Republic though? He left the Republic that was ran by the Sith and went and joined the Sith. So did he really?
Yeah, but he joined the Sith after he left the Republic. So really, that's not a failure on Yoda's part. That's a success on Palpatine's part.
Yoda hid in a swamp.
Where else would you go if you're being hunted?
You find something, you kick ass, you find a new way to go.
Obi-Wan went to the desert. Does that make him a shit mentor?
Yeah, freaking Gandalf turned into Gandalf the White, even forgot about who he was, didn't even recognize his freaking friends. He's like, they used to call me Gandalf.
So he was high for a little bit. I'd get high too at that point after that battle with Saruman. Come on now. Gandalf fought. Like I said, look, I've been looking at these comments. Gandalf fought, Yoda hid. Exactly.
Was that hiding when he faced Palpatine? Was that hiding when he freaking...
I'll be right back. My dog's going
faced Dooku?
And lost to Palpatine?
And defeated Dooku.
Yoda didn't defeat Dooku?
Kind of.
Not really.
Dooku would have been dead meat if that went on for longer.
Dooku was smart. He threw the thing at him, obviously.
Yeah, he was a coward.
Hey, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. When if you can't.
So you're still going with Gandalf.
I am still going with Gandalf 100%. It's
funny.
Mentor
Better than Yoda. Think of all the freaking Jedi he mentored,
and half of them went bad.
No, half of them went dead.
Half of them went dead too. Obviously, can't do anything right. Pal beat his ass and he went to Rando Swamp. Saruman beat his ass and he flies away and marshals all the forces.
Where were the birds this whole time? Why didn't they just fly to Mordor?
That's a
different question. That's a totally different question.
That's always what people go back to.
Is that an actual question? Yeah. Because I did legit wonder while I was watching this. I was
because you watched the freaking theatrical cut, so shut the hell up.
I will say this is funny that it's true.
I'm sorry,
basically, they both got screwed over by Christopher Lee. That's true.
Holy shit.
That's funny.
Oh, wow.
Oh, motherfucker. All right, let's move on. Then we got that. We all had our little say, and now we are at the next topic. We'll see if I get heated about this one or no. It's interesting. Like I said, I actually went into this not knowing who I was going to pick, but that just got me.
You're very passionate about that. Like I really set you up with that, and I didn't even mean to.
You did. I would almost apologize, but I can't because you hate Lord of the Rings anyway.
Oh yes, he does.
Physical fights. 3 better.
This is my category.
Physical fights. We have Gandalf the Gray or the White versus Yoda in better physical fights. Jarvi, I'll start with you as always.
Oh, let Matty start. He's amped up for this one.
All right. Well, that's why I was kind of like I was going to punish him for giving me some sass last time. All right, fine. Matty, you go ahead. Go ahead first.
This is the category that I feel like I have the most expertise in. Gandalf, he's very he moves like an old man. Like, yes, he's powerful. Yeah, he can conjure the light with his staff and scare off the Nazgul and the Bullrog and cool. He's got cool powers.
Did you just call it a Bullrog?
A Bullrog.
Really quick. I want to say yes. It's the respective fights. We're not putting them up against each other.
Yeah.
No, this
is better. Who has better fighting skills, physical fighting skills?
Gandalf, he moves very big, sweeping, lunging moments. He moves like an old man. And Yoda, he's very much stick and move. He's gonna be sitting there jabbing you up the whole time. You're not going to land a fucking shot.
Oh,
And
like butterfly, sting like a bee.
He is Muhammad Ali. He's just moving all about the place. He's rope-a-doping. He's jumping all around. So I have to give it to Yoda because Gandalf, he moves. He's very lumbering, very big, large movements that you could just be like, all right, move out of the way, dodge. Obviously, plot armor is thicker than any other kind of armor. So, of course, they're not going to show that. But, we're talking physical fights here. So,
I think so. So you're going Gandalf. Sorry, Yoda.
No, I'm going Yoda.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I think I'm pretty much echoing what you said. I think Gandalf like surely has the size thing going for him, but with great size comes great weight. And in that sense, like he's definitely slower. He does have some pretty sweet moves with the sword and the staff, though.
Oh yeah,
like
when he's like holding the two and like he turns, that's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty
he's like swinging both things, and he's pretty good at fighting. But Yoda, on the other hand, like he's tiny compared to Gandalf, but he uses his size to his advantage, and he's so fast. I feel like Yoda is untouchable. Like you cannot hit him with a physical thing. Like if I think about Gandalf, like you could pretty much get him like at some point. You could get him, you could injure him a little bit. But Yoda, he just freaking jumps away, just backflips, whatever, bounces, and he's elusive like that. So I'm going Yoda as well.
Yoda as well. Okay. Interesting. This is probably my hardest category because a lot of their fights don't end up hinging on physicality as much. And Yoda's physicality is definitely enhanced by the Force to a degree. But Gandalf is actually he's actually literally a demigod. So what physically could they do? Yoda definitely has the better center of gravity, being so small and tiny, that's for sure. But Gandalf stood up against a Balrog physically.
But he used magic.
Not really as much. I mean, you could say Yoda used magic against Dooku by stopping the lightning and putting the lightning back on him and doing the same thing Palpatine in a way. Physically,
that's force fighting though. We're talking.
That's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. I know just the swinging around. I mean, Gandalf went out, rode the horse with the staff and a sword at the same time, and he took a hit. But Gandalf took it. That's a great point. He took a hit from the Balrog. That's part of physicality right there. Can Yoda take a hit? If you do hit Yoda, what's going to happen?
Oh, you can't hit him. You just can't hit him.
What if you do?
When he did get pushed off into the Senate building, he did take a massive fall.
That's force. And that's the force.
But he still took a massive impact when he fell, and he got back up.
Now, Gandalf is a demigod. If we're gonna I know we said we're not turning against each other, but against each other, we've put them up against each other. Gandalf could hit Yoda as a demigod. So Yoda could get hit.
I think Gandalf
Yoda
would get hit. Clobbered.
Oh, you're wrong. No,
I don't think he'd get clobbered, but I think he'd get touched up.
I don't know. Gandalf.
I think he'd get jabbed up.
PJ's really amped up too. I'm trying to.
Yoda battled in like the Clone Wars.
The entire of the Clone Wars. Yeah.
Exactly.
But nothing.
I think it would be like Yoda's kind of like Floyd. He's like the Mayweather. Like he'll just like jab you up and just like he'd just be fucking annoying and he'd tire you out and then he'd fucking beat you. Gandalf is like if he touches you, you're most likely fucked.
Yoda decapitated 2 like freaking clones with just one sweep. He didn't even break a sweat. He just went.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like
he can do that with ease. He can
probably better cardio.
Yeah.
I don't know. He has better cardio though, because
Gandalf lifts. Yoda does CrossFit.
That could be. That actually could be true.
Yoda's on the Peloton.
I mean, that's true. That's a good point. Gandalf does hold back a lot because he has this power that he can't show on Middle Earth because he's a demigod that is living on Earth. So it's physically.
Put the two of them in a boxing ring. Who wins?
And also, that's true too. PJ's talking about the Clone Wars cartoon, but that's not like the movie. We're talking about the movies at this point. We didn't actually bring in the characters version. Although we kind of said in the movie, that's what we said in the description. If you want to bring in other fictional points, we could. But oh god, I think I still gotta give it to Gandalf.
Wow.
I think I gotta give it to Gandalf. I think Yoda has the definite speed factor. But I think it'd be like kind of like it's like the Flash hitting Superman. Like he'd be like, eventually Superman's gonna hit him once, and then it's gonna be done.
If Yoda versus Gandalf actually happened with melee weapons, it would be the Mountain versus the Viper. But instead, the Viper wouldn't get cocky and like get himself killed at the end. That's pretty much what would happen. I feel like.
Yeah. Then so in that way, I gotta give it to Gandalf. I gotta give it to Gandalf.
Was it the Viper, right?
Yes. Yeah. Mountain Viper.
Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Viper. Yeah.
I think I gotta give it to Gandalf.
Yoda's like he's the type of hit, don't get hit, just keep moving.
I know.
The whole time, just keep touching you.
But then, like, all he has to do is get hit once. All he has to do is get hit once. And Gandalf doesn't get frustrated though that way. In that battle, Gandalf just waits. Gandalf. No, but I'm saying in that battle, in a battle sequence like that, I don't think Gandalf gets frustrated. He gets frustrated at stupidity, but like during an actual battle.
Plus, Yoda would be talking shit to him the entire time. You know, Yoda would be talking shit the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's true.
Dooku ran away like a bitch, so he did technically win. If you beat someone so bad that they have to turn and run away,
his goal at that point was to get away, do his master's bidding.
Why leave?
Yeah. But he still ran away.
Yeah, because he's all. Oh yeah, he knows he's not as strong as Yoda, but he's still. Yoda should have won that fight easily. And Palpatine whooped Yoda's ass.
Yeah, but he defeated him with the Force mostly.
Palpatine also whooped Maul's ass. He whooped Anakin's ass.
That's true.
He whooped Luke's ass.
That's true. Well, should we do Palpatine? Should we do Palpatine versus Gandalf? Maybe Palpatine versus Gandalf is a better matchup.
Yeah, maybe. Or Gandalf.
You just did there, Matty. I just actually said that Palpatine's a better matchup to Gandalf, meaning that Yoda's not even a matchup against Gandalf, and you just said, "Yeah, that's right."
Matty,
what about Palpatine versus Saruman?
Objection, leading the witness.
Yeah, you're leading the witness. Don't do it.
I know, Jay. You would. Yeah, that'd be tough on you. I know. I'm gonna go Gandalf, man. At that point, so we're gonna go Gandalf. So. Better, and the fourth question was a little hard to come up with, but I kind of wanted. We both wanted to talk about it. Better coming in at the 11th hour to save the day. We had the big moments, Yoda in episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and we have Gandalf at Helm's Deep. I will start this one. Fucking Gandalf every fucking time. I'm sorry. I fucking Gandalf every fucking time in that one. And I know this is hurting me as much as it's hurting you, because I love Star Wars more than Lord of the Rings, and I love Yoda. But that sequence at Helm's Deep, when Gandalf is fucking at the top of the mountain, and then Éomer comes up beside him, the Theoden King stands alone. And again, and Éomer's like, not alone. And they rush down. Fucking after he told him it's going to happen. He told him this was going to happen, and it happened. Yoda comes around with these like clones that aren't.
Is that an 11th hour then?
Yes, it is, because they were about to die. They didn't rode out on a last ditch effort. They rode out to try to like give them an end that they could finally have, like a worthy of remembrance or whatever. And then Gandalf came in and said, we're at end today. I'm fucking these bitches up. Yoda comes in with the clones that aren't even his clones. It's a dupe. He basically he's following Palpatine's wishes. They established the clones as his great saviors, when really they're about to kill your ass in about another movie and a half. It's actual hubris. Now, I'm not going to say everything from Yoda. Yoda, when he walks in to the moment where Anakin and Obi-Wan are being defeated by Dooku, when he comes and has that great Western when he opens the robe and the lightsaber comes out. Damn awesome moment. I love that moment. I love watching Yoda kick ass at that time. I do love that. Come on, Gandalf. Gandalf like directed that and came around, and it's beautiful stuff right there. So
I tried to hold myself back, but there's no way you can even think about giving this one to Yoda. This is like Gandalf's moments. Like these are the big moments that the movies hinge on. And the second one in particular, I think even the third one, in Return of the King, is it Gandalf who says "Ride out"? No, wait, it's Aragorn, right? Like "Ride out" with
Aragorn tells him, "Ride out with me." Yeah.
But Gandalf sort of has that like savior moment as well in the third one, doesn't he? I feel like he.
Yeah, he tells Denethor we should ride out and face them and everything else. He does have that moment with Denethor, and he ends up taking over. He actually takes over for Denethor because Denethor gets knocked out. And he's like, "Fuck it, like fuck you guys, go back to your places. We're gonna take over. We're gonna take over this shit."
Yeah, he pretty much saves Faramir.
Yep.
So that I'd say that's like the most 11th hour you could get. He's almost even on fucking fire right there. Yeah, but there's also like Yoda also has the Return of the Sith moment when he's going up against Palpatine. Well, he's not really saving anyone there, though, is he?
No,
he's just going there to face him. Well, yeah, sure, but I think that also like qualifies as one of his moments. But as sweet as it
really
is,
11th hour is it really kind of 11th hour saving the day? So. It's just him going. It's a last ditch effort to try to.
It is.
Save the
it
day,
is exactly
and he fails.
last ditch effort,
and he fails.
What is an 11th hour if not a last ditch effort?
Okay, and he fails.
I agree there. He does fail there. No, this
get his ass whooped.
I don't think.
Real quick. Let me say it real quick. If Gandalf comes to the top of Helm's Deep, goes like, "Yes, I'm coming," and then they fell down the fucking mountain to get slaughtered.
It's like, oh,
doesn't matter.
Palpatine fell too. Just saying, what Yoda that just fell down?
At the end of the battle, Yoda's running away like a little bitch.
I know, but we're
like
not
to use your quotes about Dooku. To use your quotes.
I'm talking about like the conclusions of these moments. We're talking about like the actual moments when they show up.
But the conclusion matters because the moment isn't as impactful.
That's there. If we're talking about conclusions as well, then the characters will be stuck by the storytelling, and that's not the character's fault, I'd say, because we're pretty much taking the character, trying to take them out of the storyline a little bit. I say that while I'm picking Gandalf anyway, so I'll just shut the fuck up.
And let me make the argument for Yoda. There was one person, actually 3 people, that Yoda did save when he went to confront Palpatine. It was Luke, Leia, and Obi-Wan. Because if you remember, there's the moment where Obi-Wan says, "Let me go face the Emperor. I cannot go face Anakin." And Yoda says, "You'll lose. Like you cannot face him. Like you are not powerful enough. I will go and face him." So imagine if it had been the other way around, and Yoda went to face Anakin as opposed to Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan would be dead. Yoda would probably be 3 or people. But how important are those 3 people to the story? Okay. And
I think when Yoda came in the Clone Wars is as big as Gandalf coming in the Two Towers. Even though Yoda is doing pretty much what is set up for him, he's still saving that moment in a big way. He's saving a lot of Jedi there.
If Obi-Wan doesn't go and save the 2 Skywalker twins and Obi-Wan dies, the Empire completely takes over. There's no Obi-Wan to watch over Luke, no one to watch over Leia. Essentially, the Empire wins overall.
Right, PJ. Real quick, this is not a good argument in this collective here because we want to see Anakin fuck up Liam, the youngling. So that's not a good one. When we saw Liam in that episode of Obi-Wan, I did a little rain dance out of happiness. I went outside and I was dancing. Hopefully, you watch our show long enough to know what we're talking about. We're not going to get there first. That's all right.
If not, apparently we're Who would you rather?
Dad, Gandalf or Yoda?
Then I'd say Gandalf.
I'm gonna smoke up a fat one with Gandalf. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, okay. I'd probably give Gandalf.
You want to smoke with your dad?
But have I said that Yoda is my pick?
You haven't said that yet.
I haven't said Yoda's my pick.
Okay.
I just wanted to give him a fighting chance because it seemed like you guys were ragging on Yoda the entire fucking time.
That's fair.
I do feel bad because I love
basically
Yoda,
saying that his 11, and I agree with you. Like you raised a very good point, and it was one that I was going to bring up. Of Yoda arrived with the clones, but that was exactly what Palpatine wanted. That was exactly what Palpatine wanted to happen.
Fair enough.
However, in the moment, it doesn't really matter. It's the clones showing up and saving the Jedi. Yes, a lot of Jedi died. Yes, a lot of Geonosians died. However, there is the moment of in Helm's Deep. I'm trying to remember the quote exactly where he's like looks for the first light on the was it the first light on the 5th day or something like that?
Something like that.
Dawn looks to the east. and then you just see
Yes.
the light come through the window, and you're
Throw
like,
him in.
"Oh
Throw him
shit,
down.
he's actually fucking here." And then he shows up with the guys who got banished. What would you call them?
Bro, hear him.
I call them
Rohirrim.
I call them the Riders of
The
Brohan.
Rohans.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
true.
that's the
Right.
same.
The Riders of Brohan.
Oh, right, the Brohan. I like that too.
Riders of Brohan.
The Brohirrim.
So yeah, I am going to give this to Gandalf.
All
What if
right.
he showed up with the Wakandans?
However,
Like, "Hey, Bombay."
I just didn't want Yoda to be disrespected.
That's
in the
fair.
way
I
he
guess
was.
that's fair. Everyone else says this is fun too. Who'd rather gym trainer? Yeah, Yoda would be definitely a better gym trainer. That's for sure.
As someone in that business, I don't think he would be.
Gandalf
Rather than
has
Gandalf?
old man strength.
Gandalf, but
Gandalf
as
has
a trainer
old man
though,
strength.
as a trainer, Gandalf's more like, come here, sit down, let's smoke up, and then we'll talk about it. Yoda
So
actually
he's essentially me.
jumping around. Yoda's gonna jump around. He's gonna make you do flips. He's gonna make you do all sorts of like crazy, like lifting rocks and shit. He's gonna make you work. He's gonna make you sweat. Gandalf's gonna make you smoke. That's the difference.
So yeah, so Gandalf is essentially me before jiu-jitsu. Okay.
All right, we are at the final category, and we are in a close battle. Not gonna lie. Now, I want to preface this because Jay is in the chat, and Jay will talk about. We can only go by what's shown in the movies, Jay. We're going to show you what's shown in the movies, so that is something we gotta know.
Okay.
We did go with better powers, like magical powers or the Force powers.
Yeah.
Now, I preface that with what I was saying because Gandalf easily beats Yoda as far as powers go, considering like in what he's in, like the lore. In the lore, Gandalf's literally a demigod. Like that's beyond Yoda can do, but he doesn't show a lot of that because he has to hold himself back. So that's where it becomes a thing. And then Matty, I know you're looking at me weirdly, but you don't know, like, you don't know Lord of the Rings lore like that. He is literally like an angel, a demigod. He's like a demigod. He's so.
You're not
powerful.
wrong. I don't know shit. That's why I'm.
No, I was
like,
kidding.
Whoa.
So putting that into place, we're just going to go with what we saw in the movies. It becomes a different story. So with that in mind, why don't you go ahead and start this one, Jarvi?
No, the you don't know shit was actually a callback to where Christian and
Brett Sheridan.
Brett Sheridan were just going back and forth, and they kept going. You don't know shit. You don't know shit. You don't know shit. This is the category that I was talking about. The toughest for me to decide on. By far the toughest one. I think both are arguably like the greatest wizards, force users of their franchises, of their universes. At least like the ones that we get to witness, because you could say Lady Galadriel is supposed to be like the most powerful creature of all, but like even she has to be saved by Gandalf at some point in Dol Guldur. Gandalf saves Lady Galadriel, although she's supposed to be the greatest wizard of all time. Or if like Gandalf's a demigod, I'd say Lady Galadriel is a god.
No, that's not true. Lady Galadriel,
I think she's by far the oldest. Like she's the creator of Middle Earth.
You're talking about
one of.
No,
I'm pretty sure she is. I read up on that one.
No. Tom Bombadil would be. Tom Bombadil he didn't even appear in the movies. Tom Bombadil is the creator. Galadriel is just she's a very powerful magical being, but she like in comparison to Gandalf, even to Saruman, because the wizards are demigods. She is just an elf. She's a powerful elf. She's it's a misunderstanding throughout the lore. Like Galadriel is not. I'm not saying she's weak or anything, but she's on a different level. She's like a peak elf. But Gandalf and Saruman are like way above her as far as that goes.
I'm pretty sure Galadriel is way older than Gandalf and has way more experience.
No. Gandalf's been alive for 3,000 men's lives. Like Galadriel is probably 3,000 years old.
Galadriel has been like many ages.
Gandalf has been there since the beginning of time. Gandalf has been there since like near the beginning of time. Like, I know for sure. I am 100%.
Because I've read some Aurelia, so
100% positive on it. I'm like it's maybe the chat will help us out with that too. But I can tell you that Galadriel is very powerful. But like compared to like there's like peak elf, and then there's like.
All right, let's not get caught up in it because PLD doesn't know shit. So just listen to me.
No.
3,000 men's lives, carry the one.
Doing math over here.
Divide by the two. I don't know. I was told there would be no math.
There you go. Quick Googs. So Galadriel 8,000, Gandalf at 24,000 years old.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the quality of the diamonds in my rings, but
Why is
AKA
Gandalf
okay.
so like starstruck by Galadriel then? Like he's so like
Because she's
like,
hot.
worship you.
Oh, yeah, she's beautiful and she's the leader of women, and he respects
hot.
her quite a bit. I mean, that she's like the leader of their.
Yeah, but Ian
thing.
McKellen's gay. He shouldn't care.
Gandalf ain't. Gandalf ain't.
That's why it's acting, baby. That's why it's acting.
Yeah,
I'd
that's
I'd
why
say
he's one of the
Gandalf's
greatest
at
actors of our
least
time.
bi. He's got to be bi. If he's like this old, he's tried everything. You know, everyone and
That could be
everything.
true. That could be. Galadriel may have been Middle Earth longer than Gandalf because Gandalf was.
All right,
could
we have to get back to the category.
So anyway,
We're talking about the
Gandalf versus
orientation
Yoda.
of the wizards. That's not
Gandalf
our
versus
topic.
Yoda. Let's try that.
Yeah, better powers. All right. When Gandalf starts, when he's Gandalf the Grey, he has more earthly powers. Like he communicates with the animals. He's like very nature bound in a way. When he transcends to become, Gandalf the White, that's when his powers get truly unleashed. But then I started to really think about like what are the greatest powers that he actually portrays to us, and that's what you said, PLD, as well. Like probably he's holding back. He does it when he's charging games. Does the light thing with his staff a lot of times, but that's not like the greatest like power that we've seen from
It's
him.
a nightlight.
It's pretty much just a flashlight. He's like, "Fuck you, I'm gonna ride over him." And then he rides over him.
It's a torch that never runs out of batteries.
Yeah, that's true. When it comes to Yoda, I feel like there's pretty much what we've seen. There's pretty much nothing that he can't do. And he has way more flair when it comes to his powers. He like levitates, throws, pushes, pulls, absorbs lightning. And he has immense power of seeing the future and feeling things as they're happening. I don't think Gandalf, in the movies at least, doesn't show him, seeing the future and feeling things as they're happening in real time. That is why I'm picking Yoda.
Interesting. Let's say that. That's Yoda. For Jarvi, go ahead, Matty Gunner.
I mean, I will say with the vision into the future, Yoda's visions are a lot more clouded, it appears, than Gandalf.
Sure.
But Gandalf seems to be like the type that's like, I know something that you don't know. Like he's just not. He's seen something, but he's not letting it on because he doesn't have confidence that it could definitely happen. Yoda is like, I've seen something, and this is going to happen, or I don't know what I've seen. I'm not going to do anything. But talking about the powers that we've seen, the Force is what connects all living beings. Yoda can manipulate the very fabric of reality to his will, because that's what the Force is. It's the very fabric that binds everything together, and Yoda can manipulate it to do whatever he wants.
Look at PLD's face.
He's just like, and then he transcends the living force into the cosmic force, which very few people have done. Qui-Gon won, Obi-Wan, who learns how to do it from Yoda. So he not only does he transcend that fabric of reality, he learns to control it. And yes, I know Gandalf comes back from the dead. Spoiler alert.
Physically.
He changes colors, though.
Becomes more powerful, actually, at that point.
Okay, but then Luke is able to hold tangible objects as a Force ghost. Maybe Yoda just didn't get around to it. Maybe he just didn't want to lift anything up. Maybe he just thought, I'm just going to sit here and lift it with my hand. Like, why do I have to get
lightning when he was a Force ghost?
Yeah, Yoda conjured a whole lightning bolt and set a tree on fire.
Yeah.
But
page turners.
I'm not saying that Gandalf isn't powerful, because Gandalf also did come back from the dead. However,
I wasn't really dead. But go ahead, we'll continue.
This is me showing my lack of knowledge in The Lord of the Rings.
PLD is just like, these rookies, these casuals.
But the one thing I'm not a rookie on, and one thing I'm not a casual on, is Star Wars. And I know for a fact that
we know that
what Yoda is doing, he is manipulating the very fabric of reality. Because, as I said, the Force binds everything together, and Yoda's just like, cool, I'm going to lift that up using nothing but my powers. And those are powers that he is born with. He was born this way. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Did Gandalf have to learn his powers? Did he have to learn his magic? Okay, so he was born with it. Okay.
He was a demigod. All
Don't you dare PLD count the votes now. Don't you dare make your decision based on the score.
I know. I
saw
actually,
you freaking
you know what I
counting.
did? I've already made up my mind, so I've already I'm just counting the victim. I'm just counting my.
Okay,
All right.
tell me
I'm not gonna
tell
say
me how I'm wrong.
But
Tell
you
me-
are
tell
wrong.
me
And
the ways I'm
I
wrong.
I really hate that I'm put in this position because I fucking love Yoda and I love Star Wars. Gandalf wasn't. Gandalf wasn't even really born. Like he was. He's literally a demigod. He was like he actually came from the Force, if you will. Like let's put it that way. He's like
Okay.
somebody who came from the Force. If you want to kind of compare it. Gandalf really didn't die. He actually, it was almost more of a cocoon thing. He went from Gandalf the Grey and metamorphosized with a near-death experience, kind of thing, a very powerful experience, and became Gandalf the White, which made him even more powerful. And that's exactly part of the reason why I can bring. I said before we can't bring in anything that's not movie related, but that was part of the movies when he does transform into Gandalf the White. That power there that shows it. It's like, that's a good point, Maya. Actually,
He changed robes. And he
almost
dyed
like
his
a good
hair.
angel. He's more like an angel, really, honestly. He is created basically by the one above all to face the ultimate evil. Sauron. He's one of the ones that was there. That's why he was sent down to Middle Earth. And in quite a way, he's actually less powerful on Middle Earth than he is in his true form, because he's limited to the physicality of the world. But he actually can. You said something about touching the Force, and he set up everything throughout Lord of the Rings. He brought the dwarves to Bilbo. He set up everything almost always in motion. He's the one who found the ring, and even though might have been a little silly about like, is that the one ring? Holy shit, because he was just enjoying the leaf too much. But his power itself was about always reading the room and reading the leaves. And here, that's about another power he described. I'm just going to whistle. I'm going to get a horse coming from anywhere, from the middle of nowhere. Shadowfax comes out of nowhere.
I could walk into the middle of Manhattan, whistle, and a taxi will appear. That doesn't.
Look at those powers, Matty the White. Okay, that's inappropriate to say. I'm sorry.
I mean,
a little appropriate. But it comes down to Gandalf just has more. Yoda has telekinesis. He does bounce around a lot. It's kind of like a horse taxi. That's impressive.
yeah, a horse taxi.
Gandalf stood up to the Balrog, which is like saying going up against the devil, and used his powers to not only survive but to metamorphosize. Yoda faced Palpatine and got his ass whooped.
Who is the devil?
Not even close.
Who
to
is
the
pretty
devil.
much the devil.
Yeah, but not in that kind of same way. Like he is a devil because he's really evil, but he's not like Balrog is legitimately
devil bear.
Like legitimately a demon. It's a devil bear. So at the end of the day, I can't see where Yoda is great. Yoda's got some great magic, great force powers and everything else, but Gandalf just has more at his disposal and has shown more in terms of single-handedly controlling the destiny of people, single-handedly like being the key point in winning battles. I can't see giving this to Yoda in any way. I love Yoda, but it's got to be Gandalf once again. Got to be Gandalf. I hate saying that, but
no, you don't.
I
Look
do.
Look at you.
I love you.
You look so
You've been
distraught.
so happy to tear down every single one of my arguments. And it's all come from this vendetta that I apparently hate Lord of the Rings, which I don't, by the way.
You did this to yourself, Matty. You have done this yourself.
Did we even say what he did do?
What?
Yeah.
Why are we taking the piss out of him?
Oh, yeah, we did that earlier.
That I watched the theatrical cuts. Okay. All right. So you'd rather me rush and watch. Yes, I fucking hate Lord of the Rings. Just to satisfy all of you, I fucking hate Lord of the Rings. Fuck Gandalf. Fuck those stupid rings. In fact, I'm gonna take the fucking Clerks approach. This is just 3 movies about a bunch of people walking.
Don't use that against me. That's actually one of my favorite Clerk sequences. I do love that one.
There you go. That's it in itself. 3 movies about a bunch of people walking, and then they walk up, and then they just go.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Danger. Mannequin Skywalker acting ruining saga.
That is a great scene.
Back and forth. So that is a good argument. There we go. Hobbits versus Ewoks. Let's go there at some point.
A better one. Hobbits versus Jawas.
Hobbits are good at clunkers.
McClunky?
Clunkers.
All right, we've done it enough. We've
Conkers.
debated
It was
enough.
Conkers.
We defeated it. We've gone through the whole thing. What is the actual outcome of this battle? I'm reading off the
I think
jury has given me the statement.
Yeah.
The winner by 1 point
Ooh, that close.
is Gandalf.
Fuck off.
It is Gandalf.
You know,
show me the tally.
we've never seen his notes, his scorekeeping though. He could be fucking us the entire time. The entire time.
There it is, right there, in black and white, or black and yellow, I guess you should say.
MJJMPPJP. What's this? He's scribbling nonsense. You're not keeping score.
Winner he is. Gandalf, winner he is. That wasn't exactly a sweep. I
feel like this whole episode has been set up as a vendetta against me. I just want you both to know.
As soon as you said theatrical cut, you only watch the theatrical.
You will have your vengeance in this life or the next.
I will have my revenge. The day will come when I will pit you two against each other.
Ooh, that would be tough. I'm here for it, though. I'm here for it. All right, guys, that's great. That's going to do it for this week's episode of Class Action. Thank you, of course, for joining us today and watching this debacle go down and watching Matty Gunner fall to the mat. Very sad, very defeated.
Hey, man, I ain't never been knocked out in my life.
Matty on the mat.
Matty down on the mat. But next week, I will not be here. I'm actually going to be in California, sunny California, camping. So it'll be up to Mr. Jarvi and Mr. Gunner to hold down the fort, unless PJ Campbell wants to hop in and help you guys out. That's something we can potentially talk about, since he is a member of the PLD Project's crew as well. So I don't know what we're doing. What you guys are doing next week?
I did like this suggestion from Jason.
Not next week, goddammit! Not next week. Damn you, Jay! I like that.
Maybe something with a Knight's Tale, because I've been trying to do Troy versus.
You really want to do that? You really want to put a Knight's Tale up with me? You sure about that?
Yeah, I love a Knight's Tale.
Anyway, oh Jay, I'm gonna kick your ass on this one. You know that. Anyway, but we will. I will be back in 2 weeks, and we'll figure out what we're doing then as well. But it should be a great time either way. I know Matty and Jarvi will have a great episode for you guys. Where can the folks find you guys? Jarvi?
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Richard-Erik with a K Jarvi. You can find me on Twitter at Richard_Jarvi, but I'm not on Twitter, so don't tweet, don't follow, don't DM, just don't.
Just don't. Okay, fair.
But do tune in next week with me and Matty. Maybe we should do something about Scrubs. Like Scrubs moment, like top 10 Scrubs moment. Maybe a top 10 thing for.
Ooh,
we haven't done that in a while. Something like it. We'll talk about it.
We'll figure it out.
Right. And Matty, where can folks find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter, Matty Gunner, Instagram, Matty_Gunner. You can find my band Shadow of Azrael on all digital streaming platforms, and every Thursday and Sunday on the Wild Jones Podcast Network YouTube channel for the ONU MMA show.
All right. Myself at Paul_DiNuzzo on Twitter. You can find me every week here on Class Action, except for next week. You can find me Crown Jewels podcast. I do cover the Queen catalog. That's actually going to be coming out in about 10 minutes on Spotify. We are wrapping up the first album, and all sessions. We'll be taking a couple weeks. I'll be taking a couple weeks off before we begin the next season, which will be Queen 2. That'll be coming up in about 2-3 weeks. Queen 2 is one of my favorite albums of all time. So good.
Good. I love that album.
And of course, on Wednesday, you can find myself and PJ Campbell, two mediocre white dudes on film, covering the extended edition of Two Towers with an extended edition of
the only edition. The only edition.
Wait.
The extended edition of my podcast. That's what I meant.
Oh, okay. So there's not an extended edition of Lord of the Rings. Okay.
I wish there was an extended edition of Lord of the Rings. I wish it was like 6-hour edition or something. That'd be great. But
I hope PJ's corgis make some noise in the Two Towers episode.
They usually like to have their say.
I need some corgi sounds when I'm listening to that podcast.
It's great. It is great. It's a lot of fun. We did have one. Thank Brandon Buckingham for that as well. And you can find me, of course. I do still produced for Ben Bateman and Andrew Guy in Action Industries. We have weekly shows, although we're taking a break. Take a break this week because Ben is on tour, and Andrew is actually doing movie premieres.
Yeah,
2 movies
shout out to Andrew for his
Andrew
It's like
Guy.
Lola?
no, it's Bogota trip.
Bogota trip, and the same. And tonight he's doing the Lola movie as well. Always
Yeah,
Lola.
so shout out to Drew.
Always Lola.
Can't wait to see those movies. And
Right. And
I hope
also with
they
Roxy
come
Stryer.
out on streaming.
I hope they do too. I think they should. They should. Yeah, it's very, very short time there, PJ. Of course, I do want to shout out my patrons at all. Patreon.com/PLD projects. Please, if you want to join us, we have a lot of good times. We do have some monthly hangouts. We do some extra content for two mediocre white idiots in a box. We talk Doctor Who, among some other things we're talking about potentially doing more on. We also have to shout out Danielle Ramirez, Brandon Buckingham, Brandy Parker, Jeff Alterman, John Lastrina, Kelly W. Thank you so much. Couldn't do it without you. And finally, me and PJ write for the Movie Trivia Showdown, #team question writers, be nice to us, all that kind of jazz. Otherwise, we'll be here next week, same time with Richard-Erik Jarvi, with Matty Gunner. I am your host, PLD, not next week, but this week only. And then back, not this week only, this week, and then returning in a couple weeks.
then the inmates are going to run the asylum next week.
I'm almost scared. I hope they don't get canceled. Next time, guys. Bye.